What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is gonna be a little story time. Nothing exciting really goes on in my life, so it was so hard coming up with the stories to tell. But sorry if I'm talking so long because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and I was procrastinating on making this video because I was thinking about just making it another day, but if I'm up, why not? So yeah, when we have family parties or whatever, like somehow, some way, the story always comes up. So I might as well just share it with like the world, right? Okay, so the story time is gonna be on, I don't know what to title it, how I went missing, I guess. That's what like everybody else views it as, but like me, I know what I was doing, so I don't really see it as that. But yeah, so I had to be like 12, 13, no, like 13, 14. So I was getting into like, you know, boys or whatever. So there was this one boy, we're gonna call him a boy because he was young back then. He was a boy, a child. So there was this one boy, and what name can I give him? Let's call him Jacob. I was really like into him, like I wanted him for like so long, and now that I look back, like he is a bum now. So thank God I dodged that bullet. So I was so like into Jacob, and like I wanted him, like I'm like I need to have this boy. Meanwhile, I was a child, I didn't know anything about relationships, nothing. Like I was just, you know, being cute. So I had to be like in middle school. Jacob was like texting me or whatever. He was like, oh, what you doing? Meanwhile, I was already punished like from school. So like my dad and my mom, like I was not supposed to be going outside. I was not supposed to be doing on the computer, no nothing. So whatever, that one day, I don't know, my dad let me on the computer. So when I got on the computer, you guys remember AIM? There was Air AIM. And like Air AIM, you could see like your old messages. Like if somebody, like regular AIM, you wasn't able to see any messages somebody hit you with if you were like signed off or whatever. So I would get on Air AIM and it would have like any messages. Like if I was logged out, it would pop up still. So I went on Air AIM and I peeped Shorty 140 had hit me up. So I was hyped over them. And he was like, oh, what are you doing today? Like, let's hang out, da da da. So I'm like punished, like I'm not supposed to be going anywhere. So he was like, oh, like, you know, just ask your mom and like just go see. So I went to my parents and I was like, hey, can I go outside? Like I'm not like gonna like go crazy, like I'm not gonna be out for long, I just want to hang out with my friends. So they was like, you know, like you're punished, you're not supposed to be going outside. I'm like, I know, but like if, you know, like I prove to you that, you know, I could come home early, do this, that, da da da, you know, like can I like just go? So like I kept asking and kept asking. They finally gave in. They was like, you know what, just go. So it was already like, it was around May, because I remember it was like around this time that it gets dark later. So it was already like 7, 8 o'clock, and by the time I left it was still light outside. So just keep this in mind, like all morning, like I would look out my window like back and forth to the kitchen, and there was like cops in front of my building, and they were like searching this car for like hours. But I don't know if it was like a bomb scare or whatever. So like fire departments ended up coming, blah blah blah, but it was like the whole day they was there. Like, you know, like it was something going on in front of my building. When I left, they were still there. So they were still there. I'm thinking like, oh shit, there's a bomb, like my building's gonna blow up, da da da. But I was just like, let me go see my boo, and you know, if shit goes down, then it goes down. Like I'm not there, which is fucked up of me to think like that, because you know, like my whole family my whole family is upstairs. But you know, kids are so stupid, and yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Anyways, fast forward, I'm walking to go meet up with homeboy, and he lives like kind of like in my area, but like, you know, he still had to like take the train to come see me. So whatever, I walked to the train station on Union Square. You know, when you kids, like you just want to hang out anywhere. Like as long as you with the person, you just want to hang out. Like it don't care if you outside, you don't care if you still in school and you're in school for hours past, like, you know, after school ended. Like you just don't care where you hang out as long as you're with them. So whatever, we ended up like just chilling in the train station. Now that, like, that's just so retarded, but we ended up just chilling with the train in the train station. So he came with one of his friends, and we're gonna call him Troy. So Jacob came with his friend Troy, and we just chilling in the train station. There's all three of us, and we just, like, you know, kikiing, being, well, me and him, we was being cute, like, or whatever. And his friend was like third wheeling, so he got tired of third wheeling, and he dipped. Like, already like 11 o'clock. I was already supposed to be home at probably 9:30, 10. I was already supposed to be home, so it's like 11 o'clock now. Meanwhile, I do not have a phone at this time. I was punished so much in school, like back in the day. I never had a phone. Like, I had a phone, I just never had my phone because I was always on punishment that I didn't have it. So I didn't have a phone. I asked him, I'm like, what time is it? He's like, oh, it's 11 o'clock. I'm like, oh, okay. Knowing, like, deep down, like, bitch, you about to get fucked up when you get home. But I was just like, whatever. I'm gonna, like, you know, like, I was like legit not thinking, so I really didn't care. So I was just like, you know, like, it's mad hot in the train station, and like we've been in the train station for dumb long, like, so I'm like, can we like go outside? So we go upstairs and we like start walking down 14th Street. So we go like walk to McDonald's, but I'm like, nah. Well, we was walking to McDonald's. We didn't walk in McDonald's, but we stopped like in between 3rd Ave. There was like a tree. It was in front of a bar. There was like this tree, and then around the tree it had like a little like fence thing. So we just like sat there. I don't know why. We were sitting in front of a club or like a little bar, but we just sat there and we was just talking. Like, it was so beautiful outside. We was just talking and talking for like hours. By the time I checked, yo, it was like almost 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh my god, like, I need to go home. Like, I'm like wilding right now. I'm gonna lose my life. Either something's gonna happen to me out here, being out here by myself, or, you know, like, I'm gonna go home and I'm like they're gonna kill me. Like, you know, I have to go home. Like, this is not cool. I'm wilding right now, and that's just it. So he's like, okay, like, understandable. And like, come to think of it, like, he didn't even walk me home. Like, what a bitch ass nigga. So I'm walking home. I'm walking through like the cut, like by the basketball court, and the police, they were still in front of the building. So, you know, the story that I told you guys before, I wasn't thinking nothing of it. Like, they were there all day, so I'm not thinking nothing of it. So I'm walking, and I'm just, you know, I'm trying to walk past them because like they're just staring at me, and I'm like, what the hell? So they're just staring at me. I'm trying to walk past them. They like, are you Krislynn? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, are they gonna think like this was like I had something to do with this car or something? Like, I was so confused. So I'm like, yeah. So then the guy, he's on his walkie-talkie, he was like, oh, we got her, blah blah blah, we're going upstairs right now. So I'm still confused. Like, I have no idea. In my head, I'm thinking my parents are sleeping, like everything is fucking jolly and happy upstairs, and nobody's gonna know a thing. I get upstairs. I'm in the elevator. You know how awkward it is to be in an elevator with police officers? Like, it was so awkward. So I'm in the elevator. I get out. My house door is already open. Like, they had it open. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, so I walk in. As soon as I walk in, I see my grandmother there. My grandmother's there with her dog. She doesn't ever leave her house. I see my uncle there next to her. My dad is pacing back and forth up and down the hallway. My mother, she's crying. I see my next door neighbor there, like that was my best friend back then. She's there. She's younger than me. So I'm like, why is she here? Meanwhile, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning by then. So I'm like, why is she even here? My other friend from school was there. My brother was there with his girlfriend. Well, his girlfriend at the time. She's there. My cousin is there. My sister is there. I'm like, I just walked in and I'm like, what happened? Like, that's like the famous word that everybody uses every time they tell this story. I'm like, what happened? Like, I was just so confused. Like, y'all had a party or something? As soon as I walk in, everybody just starts crying. They start crying. Everybody comes, starts hugging me. They was like, yo, like, where have you been? Like, what? Like they didn't even know what to say. I'm like I was just so awkward, and I'm just there like, but why y'all crying? And I'm like trying to hug everybody. I'm like, but why y'all crying? Like, so whatever. My mom like finished talking to the cops, and they was like, you know, she's good, blah blah blah. So they ended up leaving, and my grandmother, she comes to me, she's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, da 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 da. So she leaves with her dog and my uncle. My brother, like, everybody knows me, my brother like this, my older brother. So he comes, he gives me a hug. He never cried, so he like hugged me, and then he started crying. So I'm like, oh shit is real. I start crying, and I'm like, oh my god, like, I'm sorry, like, I would never do this again. Like, what was I thinking? This was my one opportunity, like, to get off a punishment, and I like re-punished myself. Like, that's what I used to do back in the day. Like, I would never not be on punishment. It was just the stupid things that I did. Like, all you have to do is be home at 9:30. You would have been off punishment, and then you could be cute and hang out with homeboy all the time. Like, I just like never used to think back then. So then I'm like, what are you guys doing here? Like, aren't your parents worried? Like, their parents didn't really know that they were there, but everybody, they just ended up leaving, going home after everybody, like, you know, screamed at me, of course. And my dad, he was like, you know, like, you're like done. Like, don't ask me for nothing. Don't ask me for the computer. Don't ask me for your phone. Don't ask me to go outside. If you're not at school, don't ask me for shit, basically. My mom, she was like, you heard the man. Don't ask for nothing. Don't ask for money. Don't ask. Dead. I was everybody ended up falling asleep, and I ended up like running on the computer real quick, because, you know, I had my stuff saved, and then running on the computer real quick. I hit the kid up, and I was like, hey, Jacob, I'm home. You know, like, I'm like really like in deep shit right now, so I probably won't be talking to you for like a minute. And I don't think he knows this story like the way like I'm saying it now. Like, he is probably like fucking clueless about this whole story, so he's probably gonna watch this video, probably not. He's gonna be like, who is she talking about? Because, you know, he probably doesn't even remember this story, that we hang out. But I never told him that I went missing in my family's eyes that day. Like, I didn't tell him anything that happened. So that is my she went missing, she ran away with a boy story. And to this day, I tell like the story that I explained to my family. I was like, hey, like, I was just with my friends. They didn't know I was a boy, but I'm like, hey, I was with my friends. Like, we was chilling in the McDonald's. Like, McDonald's was open 24/7. And until this day, that's the story that they know. So everybody's gonna see this, and they're gonna be like, girl, you are an idiot. Thank God I got my life together though. Hallelujah. And I would never, I hope my kids don't do this, because listen, kudos to my mom and my dad, because I was a hot ass mess. So yeah, that is the story time on how I went missing / ran off with a boy. And let me know if you guys want to see more story times. It's hard coming up with story time videos because nothing exciting happens in my life, so it's gonna take me a minute to think about something. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy watching this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys. Oh, also don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, now bye guys.